Hey all, this is me, Hack, and I'm with Dr. John over here. He's a professional doctor who does real surgeries, and he's also a hacker. So he hacks a lot of stuff on HackTheBox. He has CPTS, which is a very hard exam, at least how much I've heard. So yeah, I will talk to Dr. John in a bit. So Dr. John, can you introduce yourself a bit?
Hi, Hack. Good evening.
Good
I
evening.
am Dr. John. I don't know if I'd like to. I'm Umur John, right? That's my name. I'm from Nigeria. I am 24. I am a medical doctor and also a cybersecurity, should I say professional at this point?
I mean, it's on
Yeah.
you. Alright, so we know Doctor John is a doctor, a professional doctor. So we will start with the very first question. So can you tell us about your journey from being a doctor to entering the field of cybersecurity and how it happened?
Okay. I get that question a lot, as you would
Hmm?
imagine. It's really like two different worlds
Yeah.
that I'm living two different lives kind of thing. So I got to know about cybersecurity first in like 2016 when I was in 100 level of university. I was studying medicine, so I didn't really have much time to pursue the passion. I guess I could say that. Like I couldn't follow up the cybersecurity thing. Plus, um, in my geographical region at the point in time, the field was not really that popular, if I should say so.
Okay.
So it wasn't really a thing for me. Fast forward to 4 years later, when I was in 400 level of my clinical years in medical school,
Hmm.
I I don't know if I would say I realized that I am very interested in this thing and I enjoy it. That's ethical hacking cybersecurity.
Okay.
So I started paying more attention to it. I started taking courses, doing try hack me. Um and yeah, that's how it started. And
Okay.
it made me realize that I probably want to do this for a long time. So I've been putting in a lot of time and energy into that.
So I have a quick question. So you started in 2020, around the COVID period.
So yeah, not really.
Mm-hmm.
Um During the COVID break, I would
Mm-hmm.
say break, I had a major clinical exam coming
Mm-hmm.
up, so I didn't really have time for anything else than medicine. 2021 was when I finished, should I say, one of my hardest medical exams, medical
Okay.
school exams, and
Okay.
it was going to be a very long year. That was going to be boring, quote unquote, because the courses we are going to have that year was going to be like not so hard and interesting. So I decided to take up cybersecurity, like full-time hard-on study that period. I think somewhere around June 2021
Mm-hmm.
that was it. So that was when I really put in energy and started taking courses. I took the practical ethical hacking course on YouTube.
Okay.
I learned Python. I did a lot of try hack me, a lot of try hack me that period. And then that was when I started like investing money and buying courses and all that. So yeah,
Okay, so
that's when I
so
could
do you
say
know
I
why
started.
so the reason why I asked you that question, 2020 and 2021 was the period when people were all locked down, and even me, I had a lot of interest in computers since a very young age. And 2020 2021 was a time when I actually got into this thing, deep waters. So yeah, 2020 2021 was the period when everyone was, at least how much I know, I've talked to many people, they were also started hacking or got into deep waters in 2020 2021. So
Yeah.
so I have a next question. So since we know you're a doctor, so how do you manage your work life thing? You have to hack, you have to go do surgery, so how you do it?
So, I don't know how best to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say, it takes a lot of time management, discipline, and I don't know, passion. I really enjoy it, so it's not like a chore. So, I it's not easy though. I can tell you for free that when I decided to take my PMPT and CPTS, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't doing any I wasn't doing any job at the time. Like I had not started working as a doctor, right? So I graduated, I inducted Q4 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I decided I was going to take a break off medicine and from like everything medicine related and just rest because it was really, it took a toll on me. So when I finished school, I took time off and some of my goals were, as you could see clearly, were to finish my practical ethical hacking course and all the courses I needed to write the PMPT exam and CPTS and every other thing that came. I mean, the CPTS was supposed to be 2024 anyways,
Mm-hmm.
but I wrote a couple of exams. I wrote the certified in cybersecurity exam last year, October, I think. Yeah, October. I wrote the PMPT in December. So I can't say it is really easy because like now work as a
Mm-hmm.
doctor, I can tell you for free that I have to squeeze time out
Mm-hmm.
because I mean you go to work and you come back and you're probably very tired. So you have to like have a very strict schedule and know how to manage your time properly. Lucky for me, I learned that in med school. So yeah, it's easy, but then it's hard. I don't know if
Okay.
you get, yeah.
Okay.
It's
I
not
mean,
rocket science
mm-hmm.
anyways.
Yeah, like we have to
But
just
yeah,
deal with it, like deal with the
yeah,
situation.
basically, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I have another question. So, like, what was the motivation, like, to jump into cybersecurity? Like, any motivation, any person?
Not really. Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, probably yes. So,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
when you said pricing, I just thought about it. So I don't know if you know, Doggy is tagged the $1 million hacker,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy DeVos.
Okay.
So, I was a huge fan of him since like 2016, I guess. I just saw a lot of his
Okay.
posts and what's it called? Blogs, like interviews and shit. And I really liked the idea of like being a hacker. He's a bug bounty hunter. So like
Mm-hmm.
I could say that would be my I don't know if I call him a role model, but yeah. Aside that, not really like I would say I really enjoy it, right? So it's like easy. I there's no I can't say I have a unique motivation. Aside the fact that I really like love the idea of working remote and um working at my own pace.
Mm-hmm.
Um I guess it just comes. I don't know.
Okay. I had like something similar motivation. It's just that I like this thing a lot. It's fun,
Yeah,
hacking
yeah,
stuff, like whole like gets a
yeah,
lot of dopamines
yeah,
in our
yeah,
brain. It's fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
So I have a different question now. So how do you think your background in medicine has influenced your approach in cybersecurity? Like any mindset from your background in medicine you brought into cybersecurity
Um,
or anything?
I two things I would say.
Mm-hmm.
One, discipline,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that's the single most important thing I got in medical school that
Mm-hmm.
I have brought into cybersecurity. There's this there's just this discipline you have to be a doctor, right? Um, it's not brag or anything, but there's just this extra discipline you need to have
Yep.
to be able to stay long hours and read up because like we have a in med school I used to have like a whole lot of like voluminous stuff to go through and read and like understand. So it took a lot of discipline to stay up on for long nights,
Mhm.
stretches, probably sleep 2, 3 hours in a day.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you have like exams. So that discipline is what I think I brought into cybersecurity that really helped me a lot because
Mhm.
if I should think about when I had to write the CPTS exam and all that happened in that period, I had to stay up for long hours
Mhm.
to study. And I feel like the, if I had not gotten discipline in med
Mhm.
school, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Another thing is the mindset or the belief that I can do anything I put my mind to, right?
Mhm.
So I I go around with this attitude that I got from med school. One of my professor would always say, like, you really can do anything. Like, you really, and that's one thing I really believe. You really can do anything you put your mind to. It doesn't matter how hard or complicated it seems. If you put in the time and the efforts, and you actually look at this thing, it just becomes easy and it just works. So I came in with that belief, that mindset, and it really me a lot, um, or it helped me a lot since I started. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, like on a side note, right? So I'm still young, right? So like I had like a friend of mine, and he the friend wants to be a doctor, right? So I kept saying to her like she was talking to me like, hey, like you should also try this field out. And I kept saying to her like, nah, like I'm someone who can't study, right? I'm someone at that point, like I was like, nah, I have to travel, do this, do that. Now I'm in cybersecurity where I have to learn new things every day to keep myself
every day,
updated.
every day.
That yeah,
Yeah,
that's the irony, and I laugh at it. Like at point there was a point where I wanted to be a traveler, just explore the world, and now I'm in cybersecurity where I have to just learn new things.
I mean you can hack while on the move, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, I get you. I get
Yeah.
your point.
So
Adulthood, we'll call it adulthood. Adulthood has caught up with us.
So I will jump a question ahead and I will ask about your CPTS because I'm also like preparing for it, and I have a plan to go for CPTS in a week or two, maybe around
Good
mid-April.
luck.
So here, thanks. So I have a question. So how did you prepare for your CPTS exam, and what advice will you give to other people like who are preparing for it, or any tips, anything if you have?
Okay. Um, First of all, um, I'd say I probably was just lucky,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, I scored a perfect score. I had 14 flags in the exam,
100
and
points, right?
I, yeah, and in my opinion, that was just pure luck. And I really, I don't know if I would call it luck, or I could just say God was on my side, I guess, because like, ordinarily it should be, um, it would have been harder than it was for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I was just lucky, and hard work, right, makes luck easier to come by, if I would
Mm-hmm.
say so, right?
I mean,
So, if I haven't, if I've not looked at a topic and I expect luck to just, I expect to get lucky and get to an exam and write stuff, it wouldn't work. So, why I say I feel like I was lucky is because for some reason, most of the hardest points in the exam rather for me, were things that I just had to sleep over. and wake up and think, and I might just do something, and it just worked, right? Like
Okay.
for instance, my flag 13 and 14,
Mm-hmm.
those were the most surprising for me, anyways, because um, I had given up after I got to flag 12
Mm-hmm.
because it was really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to just write my reports and rest. That was it. I was like, I was done. I got my pass marks. I'm not touching that thing again. Right? Because I went through a lot. I mean, you can imagine how it was. So I think it was I had a day and like 17 hours left, and I I just felt like, because I was done with my report at that point, and I just felt like maybe I should just like look around because I was bored. I didn't have anything I was doing at the time. So I just had on my laptop and went back into the environment. And in less than 3 hours, I had gotten the two flags, the
Oh
13
wow.
and 14. It was really mind-blowing for me, right?
Okay.
So it was just luck, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't say, I would say luck, but
Mm-hmm.
then it's probably because I'm being a little bit humble, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put in a lot of work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, Active Directory is something I really know. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I really know Active Directory is because I did the PMPT before the CPTS. And I would advise any other person that is preparing to do the CPTS in the long term or whenever to at least try to, especially the Active Directory portions, try
Mm-hmm.
and do the practical ethical hacking course from system security. I That's my advice. Simple. That's it. Now, I did the PMPT in December. I wrote the exam in December, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't really the exam. Like it's basically the way I prepared for the PMPT, right? I've been hacking boxes on try with me and all that for years now. So I mean, there are a lot of things I know. But there's a way Heath Adams really teaches you Active Directory that just like it just works. There's a way you would really understand the attack concepts, and if you really pay attention in the course and practice, if I could show you my computer now, I'd show you. I have like 5 labs or six
Mm-hmm.
practice labs on virtual machines that run consecutively. And during the weeks leading up to the PMPT, I know how many times I went back and forth all my tools, practicing and trying out different attack types and different commands and why a certain command will work in a certain way, understanding how it all works and why a certain flag will give a certain different result, and how to tune attacks. So I feel like Hit Adams really taught me Active Directory very well. And my own personal practice did a lot of work. So when I was thrown into the CPTS preparation, the first couple of modules, like 15, were like smooth sailing. They were very easy. I just like ran through them. And
Mm-hmm.
then subsequently, I started seeing like like what I call new concepts. Like one that stood out for me was the Windows privilege escalation. I've done that
Okay.
before. I know Windows privilege escalation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to the CPTS, and the course material was kind of the same but kind of different, right? So I got to learn new things, new concepts, and it was really fun. The learning experience is what I enjoyed the most, because when I'm going through a course and it's like I'm seeing things I already know, it's kind of boring for me. So that was interesting. And then I was really looking, when I was preparing, I was really looking forward to the Active Directory portion of it. And when I got there, I was somewhat surprised. And I'm really happy that um I don't know if I can say, but
Mm-hmm.
some of the hardest parts, the CPTS is hard, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not as hard as you would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of the, should I say, hardest attacks were not included in the exam, if I put it like that. I can't say, but like I feel like some things that would probably had some things that probably would have made me fail were not included in the exam. That's basically how I can say it.
Okay.
So when I wrote it, it was kind of easy for me, right?
All
But
right.
um, I noticed that the CPTS, I mean, the Active Directory portion of the CPTS was kind of different from the Active Directory portion in what's it called? In the
PNPT.
PMPT.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the PMPT, they teach you to use Kali Linux. So you are pen testing from your Kali box, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
completely. Or the CPTS approach gave you both, right?
Yeah.
So there was the pen testing from Windows and then pen testing from Kali. But it almost seems like they really focused on pen testing from Windows. So when I was preparing for the exam, I had a time crunch. Like I didn't have all the time in the world to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
So I was scared that if these people should throw um, a lot of this Windows pen testing for me, it might be a little bit harder because I've not had months to really understand all the commands with all these tools. So
Yeah.
what I did was when I was taking all the labs at the end of each module, I would really take down my commands, like the commands that I ran that gave me a certain result. I'll take them and put in the notes and
Mm-hmm.
explain what it did and like how it works, right? So that's basically I had like should I say a cheat sheets, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That I could easily just copy a command, paste, edit the variables to what I need and run, and then it works. And really, Active Directory is self-explanatory sometimes. If you understand what you have, where you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to go, then it's really easy, right?
Okay.
It might be, it wasn't, I can't say it was very easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually think and you try not to overcomplicate things and you just flow and you're not scared and you take rest when you need to, it really can be easy. It
Okay.
really is not that hard. And plus, I mean, during the exam, you still have access to your
Yeah.
academy platform, right? So
Yeah.
if you get stuck, you can easily go back to the academy platform and like
Yeah.
look through a module, right?
Yeah.
So you're
That's
doing
the best
something and
part
you
of
feel like
like.
you're stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the best
So
part of like
if
open
you're
book
doing
exams. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So like if you're doing a module and like you're in the exam environment and you feel like you're stuck and you know where you're stuck. I mean, you've gone through the course, so you should know where to look for what you're trying to do. Just go
Mm-hmm.
back to the module, the academic platform, and just look it up. You really sometimes you might just get the answer looking right at you. So it's really not that hard. I can't say it's easy. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying it's easy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not something that's not doable. I mean, I passed on my first attempt, right?
Yeah.
So it's doable basically.
Yeah, man. I mean, like when I gave my CPPH, which is like web app part from HackTheBox.
Yeah, I saw
So
that. Kudos to
yeah,
you.
so I failed that exam multiple times, and the reason why I failed, it's like even more funny. Like I was stuck, not coming up with new solutions. But like after completing CBPH and when I started doing like more professional work related to pen testing, I realized, fuck, like this is the part which is like everyone's need to know who is supposed to do a pen test, like
Yeah,
at least a web app pen test part. So I was like, dude, like maybe like CBH was not that hard, right? When I'm
yeah,
here, like so when I started doing like my professional work, I realized CBH is not that hard and CPTS shouldn't be that hard, because if
yeah,
I go and do like more network pen testing stuff, I don't think like CBH will be the bare minimum I have to know, right? It's
yeah,
I don't think like it's CBH, CPTS is like covering more advanced AD attacks, though like I'm not the best with Active Directory right now, but I'm trying to learn, you
yeah,
know. And even
yeah.
like I
I
had
get
like something similar problem with like living off the land, which is pen testing from like Windows part. So that's
yeah.
that's fine, and we'll try to figure it out. Hopefully I will manage to pass on my first attempt. I'm not
You will
sure.
pass. My advice,
Mm-hmm.
my advice is to really practice really. And I mean, for you, you have similar years of experience and you've done a lot of hack the box and all that. So I don't think it should be a problem for you. However, if I could, I would
Mm-hmm.
say if you could move your exam a bit and try and do the Active Directory portion of the practical ethical hacking course, because I promise you, it is the magic. I
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain this to anybody, but that's my secret, basically. If I can, like, if you ask me for my secret of passing the CPTS, I would say it is the PMPT preparation that made me pass, the way I prepared for my PMPT. So if you could do just the Active Directory portion, you don't need to write the exam, right? But like just run through the videos on it's the TCM security website, the P practical ethical hacking course, specifically the Active Directory portion. That's the magic, really. For me, though, I don't know. For other people, they'll tell you do the course. I mean, obviously, you have to complete the course, do some pro labs, right, and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to do pro labs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I see you were working on some pro labs,
Yep.
so kudos to you. It probably works. Everybody has their own magic sauce. But for
Yeah.
me, my magic sauce was the practical ethical
PEH.
hacking course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
like
it.
even like
That
I
was it for
have
me.
done his like Active Directory part. I haven't completed PH. I just did the Active Directory part, and I'm planning to do like a pro lab, which is Cypher, which is based on
Yeah,
Active Directory. So hopefully that will
yeah.
help me. So let's see like what will
Hopefully.
happen. Uh, so I have like one
We'll
side
see for you.
question. So I have like one side
Okay.
question. So since we are like talking about certifications, um, let's get into like I mean cybersecurity. I believe is one of those industry which is like too much like cert focused industry, right? You need exert or something to get a job at a decent place. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't get a job without a
Yeah,
certification, but either you
it
have to
makes it
make
easier.
either you have to make a really good connections with people, or you get some check boxes filled with certifications. So like if you have any suggestions for that, then feel free to share.
Um, I am I am unemployed in cybersecurity for now. I mean, I'm not job hunting
Mm-hmm.
yet. I have a mandatory 1 year service
Mm-hmm.
in medicine, and that's what I'm currently doing. Right. So 2025 Q1 is when I'm going to start job hunting in cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, from what I've seen online, is you need to have a good network, right? Make
Yeah.
your profile really good. Know your stuff. Like I would say know your onions. Like be good at what you do, right? And it will basically just work out. However, I mean, we all have heard about the almighty recipe and all that. So
Yeah.
like I mean in penetration testing slash red teaming, right? If you have the recipe, it's almost like a magic wand that would pass you through to interviews and shit. So my advice to anybody that is looking to work in, I mean, if you can get your basic certs, and if you have your OSCP, you're good. Your CPTS is going to give you stuff, so you're going to know a lot, and yeah, like you should be good
Yeah.
after you write your CPTS. However, the CPTS currently is not like a top certification. Like it's not really
Yeah.
that recognized
It's
because
not
it's
very
it's not
recognized.
old enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fairly
So
new right
if you have
now.
your recipe, exactly. If you have your recipe, you're good. Really,
Yeah.
if you have your recipe, you're good. That's basically what I've seen,
Yeah.
right? So my plan is to get my recipe this year,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I mean, we'll find out how well it works in the job
Mm-hmm.
market in 2025. But yeah, that's all I can say about that for now.
Yeah. For me, like I'm currently too young, but like I already have like two different part-time jobs. So for OSCP, like I don't think I will be going for OSCP anytime soon, right? Unless or until
Okay.
like one of yeah like unless and until like one of my employers pays for it. um
Yeah.
Other than that, like I will mainly like focus on making more connections and networking with
Yeah.
people.
Network.
um I already have a decent resume, right? So yeah, like That's I will focus on. I will go for OSCP only when I need a job really really badly in cybersecurity. Other than that, um, no plans for OSCP right now.
For now, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
The thing about me and networking is I just find it hard to do, like reaching out to people on LinkedIn and all that. But I
Mm-hmm.
plan to like fix that towards the end of the year, I guess, because I mean I have to, right, when I want to start job hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, I don't have a degree in tech,
Mm-hmm.
computer science, cybersecurity, right? So, the thing for me is I like ease. So I'm just going to get the things that are the tools I need to make the job a little bit easier for me. And in my country currently, it's I don't know what to say about like where I live currently in my country. So I'd prefer working remote for a company, right,
Mm-hmm.
or working abroad. So I think I personally I'm going to get the OSCP, right? And that's because I mean um, I feel like it will complement my resume better, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to have to start explaining a lot to people
Yeah.
because I feel like the USP is really powerful. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to explain it for
Yeah.
you,
Just like
really.
spread and like
I'm
I
just
have
going to,
OSCP. Let's go. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to get it, drop it on that top of my resume, and then it's going to just explain a lot. I don't want to have to talk too much, basically. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like me
That's the thing about
personally, like
it.
I was talking about LinkedIn, right? So, like personally, like LinkedIn has like helped me a lot, building a really good connections, getting some work stuff. So, like if anyone like starting out, I would recommend. I mean, InfoSec Twitter is good to mm, to see memes, right? And maybe maybe stay updated with some news, but like LinkedIn will
Yeah,
like really help you to make some solid connections. And it's not
yeah,
only about just connecting to people and forgetting to talk to them. Connect with people, engage with them, maybe that might help. So yeah,
yeah.
like let's so like I have like one more question. So like how do you like stay updated on the latest trends and developments in
Twitter.
cybersecurity?
Twitter does it. It's simple.
Yeah.
Twitter does it for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Twitter
it's
does a lot
Twitter.
of stuff.
I follow a
uh
lot of cybersecurity people and pages.
mhm.
So I mean, you're definitely going to get news, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that's basically it for me. Twitter is it.
yeah. For me, also like, other than memes, like if there's any recent activity which is happening, any new attack, there will be someone on Twitter talking about, and we
Yeah,
should say like X now since Musk bought it. But there's a
yeah.
lot of people over there who talk about cybersecurity. So I had like one last question. So what advice would you give
Okay.
to other professionals considering a career change into cybersecurity? Or let me like change this question a bit. So what advice will you give to young people who are trying to get into cybersecurity, and what advice will you give to people who wants to like transition into cybersecurity?
Okay. Um, Work hard,
Mm-hmm.
basically. That's that sums it up. Work hard, right? Um, and maybe be disciplined, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to do something, you just have to put in the time, really. I remember when I just started out and I see people's LinkedIn and I see their like certifications, I see their resume and it's like big and I look at myself now and I'm like, some people are probably looking at me and like, oh my God, that's a lot, right? And the difference between me in 2021 and me now is the amount of work I've put into this cybersecurity thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the magic. Just put in your time and your energy and work hard. You're probably going to spend money on courses, right? Um, I mean, some people are not as fortunate as others, so some people cannot afford some of these courses. Fine. Look, scour the internet for giveaways, scour the internet for free courses, right? Just put in the work, and that's basically it. Be disciplined, and yeah. people wanting a career change, I don't know, probably just look at where you want to be and um, move, do
Mm-hmm.
something every day, right? Um, the little efforts that you put into it's going to accumulate over time and become something meaningful, right?
Yeah.
Currently, I'm taking the API security course for personal reasons, and even though I have work and I still play around with random cybersecurity things and boxes, so on and so on. I I try and dedicate a certain amount of time every single day to
Mm-hmm.
my API course. And it might take 2 weeks, it might take three, it might take a month. But at the end of the month, I'm going to be done with the course and the information I got is going to be here in my head. So basically just be disciplined and put in the work. Put in the work. That's basically it. Put in the work.
Okay. Alrighty. So like this is it for the video. If you have
Yeah.
if you have like any final thoughts before closing it out, if you have any.
Okay. Um, I always say, and I'll always say, you can do anything you put your mind to, really.
Okay.
You really can do anything you put your mind to. And that's basically it. It doesn't matter what you want to do. It doesn't have to be cybersecurity, really. It can be anything in this world. If you really want it and you put your mind to it,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get lucky, right? Like for instance, let me give an instance, right? I got a CPTS voucher. The CPTS I wrote, it was a voucher and it was free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, if I was just starting out in cybersecurity, or I had started out and I had not put in efforts, I wouldn't have gotten lucky enough to get the free voucher, right? Because I wouldn't be prepared for it. So just do something. Start somewhere, do something. You're going to get lucky along the way, and you're going to
Yeah.
get luckier. The better you get at something, the luckier you get at it. Right? You're just going to get opportunities and you're just going to be lucky. So
Yeah.
put in work, put in time, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it will work for you. That's
Yeah. So
basically
like
it.
yeah. So for my side, it will be like it's not lucky. Like John worked really hard for CPTS, and whoever like does stuff, they work really hard. So yeah, like John
Yeah.
was very humble. Thanks for tuning in, John, and have a great day, guys. Bye. See you.
Thank you so